what's even the purpose of a couch? Because like you want to just be in a bed because it's comfier. Like, do you sleep in a couch versus a bed? Because of which one's comfier, the couch or the bed? The bed. Hey guys, my name is Troy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you are here because today we are doing double book tag video. Woo! So yeah guys, I'm going to be doing both the book community tag that Bookstore Books created and tagged me in, and then I'm also going to be doing the this or that book tag, which I haven't been tagged in or anything. I just wanted to do it because I thought it was fun, because both tags are kind of like short. Like Bookstore's tag is 5 questions, and then the this or that book tag is just like some this or that questions. So it's going to be fun. I'm so excited for this. Thank you all so much for your support on my channel recently. Like, it's just been amazing to have you guys. But without further ado, let's get on to the first tag that we're going to do, which is the book community book tag. Alrighty, so the first question is Booktube. Talk about a book that involves filmmaking or videos in any way. And so basically these questions are all based off of like different book social media things like Booktube, Bookstagram, Book Twitter, all that stuff. So we're gonna go over all those. I actually read a book that actually has a lot of like video / filmmaking, and even has a lot to do with YouTube. So I'll just kind of talk about this book, and that was Infinity Sun by Silvera. I talked about this in my September wrap up, so I totally recommend you guys check that out because I read 16 books. It was my best reading month ever, so I'll leave that video up there for you guys. But Infinity Sun is basically about these two boys named Emil and Brighton, and one of those boys, Brighton, he is a YouTuber, and like he is very avid about it. He's like wants to make a living off of it. He's like he's very passionate about like wanting to, you know, take his channel and like have like a full-time job off of it. And so basically what happens is through the events of the book, what happens is like filmmaking becomes a really major part because they're using like online like marketing and advertising to basically paint the Spellwalkers as like this group that's doing good things, but then also like film kind of like comes on from the enemy side as well, from like the Bloodcasters. And so there's just like two different sides to like people exposing them, and then them also trying to like show their true colors, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's just really cool to just explore like the video side and the film side to this book, because like yeah, it's just really cool, and just like seeing how I can relate to him like in his YouTube channel, although his is like he has like tens of thousands of subscribers. But yeah, the second question is Bookstagram. Talk about a book with a pretty cover. And honestly, I made a whole video about pretty cover book thing majiggy, so I'll leave that up there for you guys. It was just called Beautiful Books. But yeah, I have a lot of beautiful book covers. I buy a lot of books because they have really great covers, but I don't know if I can pick one. I know for a fact that Slay has like the prettiest cover ever. Let me see if I can focus it on that. But oh my gosh, look at this. Like, and if you go into the back, there's the glitch effect. Like, that is so cool to me. Oh my gosh, I love it. Just everything about this book screams pretty to me. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I bought it because it just looks great on my shelf. And that's why I turned it outward, because I want it always to be showing on my shelf because it's beautiful. But yeah, that was a really great book. If you guys are looking for like a great book by a Black author that is like really educating too. And yeah, it's basically about this girl who is like this game developer, and she designs this game for Black people that can play, and then all of a sudden this really crazy stuff happens to their game, and she has to kind of like just go through that, especially with a lot of like racial tension between like white people like kind of calling the game out for discrimination against white people. But that's a quick recommendation for you guys. Let's get into the next question. Alright, book Twitter. Talk about a book that is really, really good but is problematic at times. Well, first, if you guys do have Twitter, I have a Twitter. I don't really tweet anything because I don't like it. You can follow me at Troy_reads. I have a link in the description to my Twitter, but yeah, book Twitter is definitely just all drama. I don't know why, but sometimes I mean I do have fun just like scrolling through Twitter and seeing all the like what's up on like the book Twitter. Anyways, I will say that Sarah J. Maas is a really good author, but she definitely has some problematic things to her book. So for example, let's just talk about like A Court of Thorns and Roses. Like, this is a really great book. I love this book. It's like, you know, just a great YA book, and Sarah J. Maas is a great young adult author, but I just feel like she has like almost zero diversity in her books. Well, not like almost zero, but she just definitely could, you know, be a lot better about it. I mean, she did also get a lot better about it like as she went on with the series and like as time progressed, which I am like liking. Like, she's getting better, she's improving, but from the start you can just see how like it's not very like, it's just kind of like all white people basically, and it's just not that great. So yeah, like the diversity was definitely lacking. But then we got more, and then the third book especially, like we got to see more characters like that have different sexualities and stuff, but definitely need like more representation in her books. And I'm going to do a test. The book that I want to read from her this month, and I'll talk about it more on my October TBR, I'm going to read Crescent City, which is her most latest release. I'm definitely going to be talking about that and seeing if she's improving upon her diversity or not. Alright, next question is Goodreads. Talk about a book with a lot of pop culture references. Ooh, I just burped. But my answer to this one has to be Again But Better by Christine Riccio, because I know a lot of people like complain about the constant pop culture references, which I don't mind them, but there's definitely a lot, like with the show Lost, like Harry Potter, the Beatles, there's so much pop culture references in here just every single time, but I think that's what made it unique and what made it fun. So yeah, I definitely like enjoyed it, and I think that it kind of like made the book unique, because I feel like not too many authors do this where they just constantly talk about like book references and like TV show references, but I enjoyed it. And then also another pick, which I'll get to the side to talk about it, is What If It's Us by Becky Abertali and Adam Silvera. This book was also a lot of pop culture references with like Hamilton, a lot of different musicals, and like I'm pretty sure they did have some pop culture references. And I remember like Sukru, when we were on the live show, he said he didn't really enjoy that, but I think I just like it because that's something that's definitely like I enjoy. Like I like, you know, learning about pop culture. Also, these lights, you cannot literally not see them at all. So book blogs, talk about an underrated book. And yeah, as you guys know, like with book blogs, like a lot of people consider them to be underrated. I mean, I personally love book blogs. I don't really follow much because like I don't really have time for that, but I would love to start like a book blog in the future maybe. I don't know, I think that would be fun, or just like a blog in general. I think I aspire to like other people's blogs, or like I get inspired by them. So yeah, let's talk about an underrated book though, and I talked about this on my Q&A, but it was like really far in, so I'm just going to bring it up again. But I think The Treasure of Capric by Brandon M. Wilborn is a hugely underrated book. I think it's just wonderful. I read this like on this like weird like ARC site that was like, it was not really popular or anything. It was like just like this, I found it on this weird site that I got it for free. I read the ebook version of this. I really enjoyed it. Like it was free and I was like, okay, that's great. And I know that influenced me a little bit, but like just like the chase, like immediately from the start I got really invested in the characters and the world. Like it was really interesting to me, and it was just like a kind of a new type of book for me. And just as soon as they set off on their adventure and they're sprawling across like this whole land and like going on this adventure, and then with people like kind of chasing after them like the king's soldiers, it just made this like really epic tension. I loved it so much, and I can't really explain it to you, but I do definitely want to read this again sometime. It's like 450 pages or something. But yeah, I read this on ebook, and then I loved it, and I wrote a whole review, and I gave the author some notes about it, and then like he really loved it, and he wanted to send me a copy of it, and then I made a review on my other channel. It was great. I love this book. Also, I want to do one more book shout out because I just love doing this, and this was The Beckoning Shadow by Katherine Blair. When I freaking won the book giveaway on this on when I won the book giveaway on Goodreads, I started like screaming because like there was only 5 copies available. Thousands of people were requesting it. I got it, and I'm so happy that I did because this is such an underrated book. I mean, like just chef's kiss. This was actually a book that kind of really got me into the mood of my Booktube channel, because I love these advanced reader copy things. I just love them, and I was like, okay, what if I start a channel? I can get all the book deals, and I have another book coming soon. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. The Beckoning Shadow by Katherine Blair is all about this girl who's like mysteriously left her home. She's like basically homeless. She's kind of like roaming the streets, and she has these magical powers that she can like inflict everyone's worst fear upon them. She doesn't like her powers. She is really scared of and afraid of her powers, and they all like kind of cause these really weird occurrences basically that really harm the world around her. But she has to harness her powers in this book with this secret society of other people that have powers, and she has to kind of like use it to her advantage, fight in this arena, and like just use her powers for good, if that makes sense. Like I just think this is such a great book. The tournament of the unraveling, all the characters, all the powers, the magic system, all of it was just really fun to read, and it just totally got me into that Booktube vibe. And also just this is a great winter book, like fall/winter book, so I definitely recommend this. All right, I think that wraps up all the questions for this tag. I would love Morgan's Chaotic World to do this because she's an amazing. I just recently found her channel because she started commenting on my channel, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. So I'd love to see Morgan's Chaotic World do this if you're watching. Let's get on to the next tag, which is the this or that book tag, which is basically just questions like blank or blank, and then I pick one, and then I kind of tell you guys what's the reasoning. We're just gonna get into it. First question, as always, I'll leave the original creators in the description, but the first question is reading on the couch or reading in a bed. Now for me, I personally love reading in my bed. That's like really only where I read. Like the couch is like, not really. Like what's even the purpose of a couch? Because like you want to just be in a bed because it's comfier. Like, do you sleep in a couch versus a bed? Because of which one's comfier, the couch or the bed? The bed. So I don't know. I just like to read in my bed because I have like my pillows. It's like just it's my safe spot. It's where I spend like half of my life. Literally, my bed is where I spend half of my life. Recently got like a new mattress that's like really plushy, and so yeah, I just love reading there. And then like I read a lot at night, which I'll talk about later in this tag. So it's just great for me to just like, you know, be able to transition straight from my bed and reading to closing my eyes and sleeping. Number 2 is main character, male or female. I think this is a great question because it's not actually something that I think about, to be honest. Like, I have zero preference when it comes to female or male characters. Like, literally, I don't even notice. Like, that's like how, like, you know, not important it is to me. Like, it could be a male character, it could be a female character, it could be any gender really, and I wouldn't care because I just don't think the main character's gender will actually like impact the story, if that makes sense. If I had to pick one, I'd probably pick female, just because I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like females are more like strong characters. I feel like Sarah J Maas is able to create such like kick butt strong female characters, which I really like, and I think that a lot of authors are able to do the same. I just don't feel like the same energy, like the same kick butt energy with like male characters. So if I had to pick one, I would probably pick female. Number 3, sweet or salty snacks while reading. Now, I actually do like to eat some snacks while I'm reading. It depends. Like, I probably eat while I'm reading, like maybe like half of the time I'm reading. So yeah, and like sometimes I'll just not be able to stop snacking. But anyways, the question is like sweet or salty, and for me, I don't really like eating sweet stuff when I'm reading. I like to eat salty stuff. Like, I like to eat chips or like popcorn or like some different kind of like cracker, like some stuff like that. Like, I like to eat like more like salty stuff, so I definitely have to go with salty snacks while I'm reading. Number 4, trilogies or quartets. Great question. I'm actually gonna have to go with trilogies because quartets are weird. I only have read like one quartet, I'm pretty sure, in my life, and that was the Giver Quartet. I really enjoy trilogies because I've read a lot of trilogies. I think there is great like potential in them. Like, we have the first book, it kind of starts escalating. We have like the second book, it shoots even higher, and then the third book kind of like resolutions, you know? Like, I feel like there's just a great arc in trilogies. For example, we've got the Divergent trilogy, which I didn't really enjoy, so that doesn't really count. We've got the Hunger Games trilogy, which is an amazing trilogy. We've got the ACOTAR trilogy, because the ACOTAR series is going to be split up into 3 trilogies. So yeah, I love the ACOTAR trilogy. It's great. It has that arc. Then we also have like the Shadowhunters trilogies, kind of like the 6 Mortal Instruments books are almost split up into 2 trilogies because there's an intermission between the 3rd book and the 4th book. So we have the first trilogy, intermission, the second trilogy with this 2 different sets of problems. And then we also have the Infernal Device trilogy. Like, I love trilogies. I don't know, I haven't read much quartets because of that. I just think trilogies are a lot better. 6, night or morning reader. Now, this is something that I would probably want to talk about more in the future. My lighting is so weird. I look like a soft-born baby. But yeah, I am now a night reader because I just don't have time to do it anymore in the morning, especially because last year I was a total morning reader. Like, 9th grade year, freshman year, I was just at it. I would get up in the morning at 4:55 in the morning. Literally, okay, that's crazy, insane to me. Have a tea, have my cereal, and then I'll open up a book. I'll be reading like a proper adult, and then I'd like take a shower, and then like read more, and like I'll have like 2 hours before I have to go to school, which is a lot. Now I just wake up at 6, and I kind of just don't really have any time to read, but I do listen to 30 minutes of audiobook per morning. Physically reading, I always read at night, and then it just kind of helps me get to bed. Some nights I will fall asleep very quickly on. Sometimes it'll take about 30 minutes while I'm reading. Number 7, libraries or bookstores. I personally like both, but as of right now, I've been liking bookstores, which I know there's like this whole issue with like book consumerism and stuff, but I just personally like bookstores more because like I sometimes feel weird like reading a book that a lot of people have touched. Like, I just feel like that's like something that's like, I'm not really usually a germaphobe, but like when it comes to books, I am, because like I don't know why, it's just like I feel like weird having like people literally have that book in their hands for however long it takes to read a book. You know, it takes like 4 or 5 hours to read a book. You're touching a book that someone has had their hands on for 5 hours. Like, I don't know, that's just kind of weird, and I don't want to like scare anyone from reading. I think it's total valid. I just think I like it more when I only have so few people touching my books, because I am like the only one touching these books. I mean, unless like I rent them or whatever, or like I have people borrow them, which I like to have people borrow them so that they can read them and I can discuss them. Anyways, that's just a personal preference. Alright, number 8, books that made you laugh or books that made you cry. I am gonna have to go with books that made you cry, because books that made you laugh, laugh. I feel like a lot of books make me laugh, but I feel like books that make me cry is so much more rare, and I really need a good book that's gonna make me cry. Like, if you have any suggestions, please comment them down below. I need more crying, emotional books. And okay, I'm reading The Hate You Give right now. I don't remember the author, but that, oh my gosh, I almost started tearing up. Like, I never cried while reading books. Almost tearing up was definitely, like, it was a lot. Like, The Hate You Give, like, the first part where, like, basically what happens is Star's friend Khalil gets shot by the police for literally being innocent, like, not doing anything, like, police brutality. Like, that's the main theme of the book, with also a lot of, like, side themes. I'm gonna talk a lot about The Hate You Give this month, because I love it so much. Basically, terror ran through me, and, like, I was so emotional in that scene. Like, just the way they worded it, like, I feel like it was just such a powerful story. Ugh, I love that. I love that so much. So yeah, definitely books that make me cry. All right, 9, black or white book covers. I really don't have a preference when it comes to this. I think both are great. Like, I have both a black book section and a white book section. So I have a white book section sort of like right there, and then I have a black book section above me. I honestly might have to go with black books though, because white books are just, they don't really go well together as much as black books do. Like, you can just see, like, the white books have like different like shades of white, like creamy white or like yellowy. Like, I just don't like white, like, because like it just ranges. Like, if all my books were like perfectly white, then it would be great, but like they're just different shades of white, which makes it weird. But with black covers, I feel like they just go well together. And even like if it is gray or like slightly darker, and you know, I just feel like they go well together, and I just love like my row of black books, if that makes sense. So I'd probably have to go with black book covers. 10, character driven or plot driven stories. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna have to go with character driven, because like what I was talking about with Percy Jackson that I read recently is with the plot was really great, but it was only 3 stars or 4 stars, however much I rated it, because of the characters. I did not feel attached to the characters. I feel like you could have the worst plot ever, but if you have real, funny, emotional, unique, quirky characters, I feel like I'm gonna love that book so much more. I just feel like the book characters really make the book, and that's just something, like, if you're gonna write a book, I know a lot of, I have a lot of, like, writers in my audience, like, you know, you really have to make some great characters. Like, they're not gonna be placeholders. I feel like so many people spend so many time, like, outlining their book, and for me, I don't do that. Like, when I was writing my book, I would make it several different pages of, like, Google Docs, or I had this weird app that I was using, and then I would just write all of that characters, like, attributes and personalities, like my bully, my funny person. Like, I would just, like, basically write out their whole life story, and I would just, like, really flesh out that character. So, like, that's kind of, like, what I would do. Just, like, when I'm writing a book, like, I really care more about the characters than the plot, and I think the characters come first for me. Then I kind of discover the plot, like, who are all the characters? Then I kind of incorporate all the characters into the plot, and I kind of outline my plot. So, yeah. Dang, I sound so professional. I was like, I wrote all these things about my characters, but yeah, I just didn't have enough time after doing YouTube, and then I stopped writing. So, yeah, that is all the questions, though. So let's do a quick outro, and then I'm gonna have to end this video and edit it, and then we'll premiere it later today. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun with this video. Double book tag, perfect. Like, these tags were both like maybe like 8 minutes long or something, and so they'll combine to a regular size video for me, and I'm so excited for my 2021 content. It's going to be totally different. It's going to be so fun. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell. I know a lot of you guys haven't hit the notification bell. I'm literally looking at you. Hit the notification bell, and also make sure to leave a comment down below with, you know, pick one of the questions, or like just kind of discuss with me what are your thoughts on some of these questions and some of these answers, and just the tag in general, the video in general. I love to hear your thoughts, because I love talking to you guys. Okay, my camera is about to die. Oh my gosh. I'll leave the last video up there for you guys. Really go check it out. I would really appreciate it. Yeah, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Love you guys so much. Happy reading. I'll see you next video for the TBR. Hopefully on Monday, maybe Wednesday. I'll see. I have driver's ed. Bye. Love you so much. Oh, my camera's done.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something bad.